Alright everybody, this is the start of update number 9. This is Saturday morning, 10:30 in the morning, March 23rd. You can see here on my workbench I got half the sub on my workbench because my last video I posted I showed the control room, which is still inside. Had it wired up, showed everybody the control room lit up. I'm going to go ahead and give another light show on this before I take it apart. What I plan on working on today is probably the conning tower, getting that prepped up and getting it ready for the spray booth. They got to primer the inside of the conning tower because I'm going to have a red and green light in the conning tower. They're SMDs, so I don't think I'm going to have to do much light blocking, but I'll have to drill a hole through here to run the wire through, and then through the bottom here. So that'll take a little time to do that, but at least that's what she looks like half together. The only problem I'm going to have once the sub's together is painting it in my spray booth. The spray booth's too short, it's not long enough. My younger brother helped me build the spray booth, and we're going to have to modify it and open it up a little bit more. I think he said he's going to go up to like the length of it about 48 to 50 inches, because I got several large kits I want to build down the road. Maybe after I get done with the sub I'll build something as big or close, and I just don't have the room in my spray booth. And I knew I was going to run into that problem when I built something big, because it's just I don't have the room. And I thought about changing and modifying the spray booth, so we're going to work on that down the road. But let me go ahead and turn the power on. I got it set at almost 9 volts, so I'll turn the overhead light off. Maybe we could take a look at the inside again, and maybe this time I can get a closer look at the interior. Oh. Everything's still working fine. That's cool. I still may try to work on putting a ceiling in. I have some calipers. I may get them out and do some measuring and see. Here's the other side. You can almost see that monitor right there up front. Get in on that side. There you go. So everything's still working good, looking good. I like the reflection on the control room floor from the lighting I got in there. That's pretty cool. And like I said in the previous video, you can see right there in the back the computer working. So I mean, it's just gonna have to look at certain angles to see it, but I think overall, even dead on, it's going to look pretty cool. So let me go ahead and pause, get this apart, see if I can do anything more to the control room, and then I'll start working on the conning tower, and I'll talk with everybody later. Alright everybody, another update on the Seaview. I have the conning tower on my workbench. It's just sitting together. I'm far from wanting to glue it together yet. And you can see here I did primer the top of the conning tower, and she goes together pretty decent, and it's decent size. You can see here. Not much difference on the other side. It's about the same. Which I showed, I think, in a previous video. I did have the Voodoo FX board that I picked up quite a few years ago, and with the light kit you get 1.8 millimeter LEDs for the light. This one, I think, on this side here is red, and the opposite side is green. And it says it could be complicated back then to get the lights in place. You'd have to bend the LEDs to get them in place, but I'm glad they came out with SMDs because I have several in stock. I got green. I think this is I have 4 of them, so I got more than enough. And then 4 red SMDs, so I'll need 1 out of each for the lights. And light blocking shouldn't be that difficult since it's just going to be that part right there lit. And then for the tail fins, I'm going to use white SMDs, and I have 10 of those in stock. 1 for each side of the tail fin, so that'll work. That'll be down the road when I get to that part of the build. But I'm going to go ahead and see what I can do. Maybe jury rig the red and green onto the conning tower so everybody can get a look at that. I think it comes with some clear parts that go in here on each side, but I'm not going to go ahead and mount them yet. The light should come through just fine. So let me go ahead and gotta wire these up. I gotta add some wire to the SMDs, some red and black wire I got right here. I got from HDA Model Works, same with the SMDs. I got plenty of this in stock. I built quite a few kits with the wire wrapping wire, and I've got a couple more spools in stock, plus all the colors that he carries. So if I build a Starship or something, and I got Ralph's boards, which I got a few of those, he may have all the colors wire that I need to just match it up with the wire I got, so that should work. Hopefully, keep my fingers crossed. But when I first started doing back into building models and started lighting the models up, I used magnetic wire, and that stuff I'll never use it again. It's just tricky. It's hard for me to use. It's wire wrapping wire. I think this is 28 gauge. It's the same thickness as the magnetic wire, but I just prefer this over the magnetic wire, and it's wire wrapping wire. You can pick it up from Jerry's website at HDA Model Works along with the SMDs. So let me stop rattling here. I'm going to go ahead and jerry rig this up, see what she looks like. And once that's done, I'll go ahead and film that part, and I'll talk with everybody later. Alright everybody, another update on the conning tower. I just wired up the SMDs, and these are, I guess, navigation lights. This side here on my thumb is red, opposite's green. I'll have to definitely do some light blocking on the inside, maybe the whole inside of the conning tower. I'm not quite sure yet. We'll see. And I've noticed there's a few TV shows that I've watched on YouTube with the submarine submerged, and it looks like right here on the end of the conning tower it's got a light lit right here. Now I don't know if I'm going to go that far to lighten that part. I may try to light the inside here with a warm white SMD or LED. I'll have to see about lighting that up. That might be kind of cool. So let me go ahead and turn the power on. I got it set at 9 volts. Turn the light off. And I don't know how much the camera's going to bleed it out, but there's the red side. You can see where it needs to be light blocked from the inside of the conning tower. But that looks pretty cool. And then show the green side. Green looks like it's a little bit brighter than the red. And you can see how it's lit on the inside. It's pretty cool. How I got it jury rigged right now. Got it taped up. You see how much it's reflecting. So I may just go ahead and light block the whole inside just to play it safe. And then see a front view of it. Let's just go ahead and take the top off, then everybody can see how I got it in there. I got the red one right there, I got it taped off. And then the green. These SMDs are amazing. I mean, for what they can do, don't take up much room. But I'll probably, as bright as they are, even though I'm going to light block right where they're at, I'll probably just play it safe and light block the whole inside of the conning tower. Especially if I light the top of it up. I'll have to see how I'm going to go ahead and do that part. But this didn't take me long today to get this jerry rig and get the SMDs set up for it. I double checked the control room for the sub. Everything's good. I don't have to do any more modifications to it. Everything looks good. So figured I'd step up and get this out of the way, and then maybe I could start working on the sub itself. I figured I'd give everybody a quick update. It's looking pretty cool. Conning tower ain't going to take me as long as the control room, so I'm going to go ahead and continue working on the sub today, and I'll talk with everybody later. Alright everybody, another update on the conning tower. I just wired this 3mm white LED up off camera. Then I have the red and green SMD. I'm going to use, I think this is 1mm fiber optic that will go in the top here for the lighting for the rear of the conning tower. So I want to button this up today, get this done and out of the way. Come right off. Yeah, I get clumsy. But that's what I got planned on today, is getting this finished, and then I can get it ready for primer and paint, which I won't do until it's on the sub. But at least I can get the navigation lights in, the red and green, and get that light up there on top done today, and then glue it together and put it to the side, and then start on the sub. So I figured I'd give everybody a quick update. I should have this finished sometime today, the conning tower, and I'll hook it all up to some power when it's done, and I'll talk with everybody later. Alright everybody, another update on the conning tower. I finished it last night. I'm going to button it up today. You can see I got it all taped up. I put I'm guessing at it, but it's the largest fiber optic I have. I put it's got to be 1mm. You can actually see it right here. And I got it hooked up to one LED, 3mm, and I cut half the piece that goes in here for the lighting, because it's got like a little bubble on the end, and I didn't want to go that far doing it with the fiber, and I probably could have, but it still turned out good. This navigation light's red, the other's green, so I'm going to go ahead and turn the power on to got it at 9 volts. I'll turn the overhead light off, and it turned out awesome. You can see the light right there in the rear of the conning tower, and then you can see the red right there, and then green on this side. And I do have a little bit of a light leak, but I haven't covered up the SMDs yet. You can see on the inside here, and I'll probably cover them up with probably tulip or tape or something, because that's the only part that's light leaking is right up here where the top of the conning tower joins the bottom part, and it's not very much. The rest of it's fine. I checked it in the dark last night, and the light blocking I did on the inside is working out, but I still gotta, like I said, I gotta cover up those SMDs, but she turned out pretty good. I'm happy with the results. Really looks cool. And do a straight shot of it in the front. So I got to button this up today, glue it together. There's going to be a little bit of seam work to do, but not that much. And then I'll put this to the side and I'll start working on the sub itself. That'll be next. But the control room's done. This is finished, other than buttoning it up and covering up those SMDs on the inside. I'll pause the camera and I'll take this apart and I'll show everybody what I did. You can see the fiber optic right there lit up, and it turned out good. I'm glad. I'll have to really do my job covering up these little lenses with some tape when I get around to primering this up and painting it, but that shouldn't be a hassle or a problem. So let me go ahead and pause the camera, get this apart, and I'll show everybody the inside, and then I'll go ahead and button this up. So I'll pause the camera and I'll be right back. Alright everybody, back on the conning tower. You can see the inside. I got the SMD right here, and I used heat glue just to hold it down in place, and then I just got to cover that up. But they both are the same, you can see here. And then on the top of the part of the conning tower, you can see the fiber optics, or fiber optic. I'd say it's 1 millimeter. It's pretty thick. I think it's the thickest one I have in stock. So there's not much to it. A lot of wire, but that's the way it goes when you light up a kit. You can see here where I got it. I used 5-minute epoxy, and I glued it in place. Tedious to hold it for 5 minutes, and I did the same with the SMDs. Just held it in place for 5 minutes till it started to cure, and it turned out perfect. So I figured I'd show everybody what it looks like on the inside before I put it all back together again and button it all up, and then I can move on to the sub. So at least everybody can look at what you got to go through with this sub to light it up. Conning tower isn't as complicated as the control room, but at least it's done. I can put it together and put it to the side and start on the sub. So I'll go ahead and pause for now, and I'll talk with everybody later. Alright everybody, another update on the Seaview. As you can see here, I got half the sub on my workbench. Last couple of days I drilled out the hole here for the wiring to go through the top, where this is where the conning tower sits. So I already drilled that out so I can run the wiring through, and the LED for the fiber optic I have on the end of the conning tower that lights up. And then here I have to drill that out so I can run everything through the sub to the rear, and that's what I'll be working on today. I got to drill this out up here, you can see, and that shouldn't take me too long to do that. And then I'll probably maybe get ready to glue the front end. And then you can see here, let me pick it up. You can see here I'm going to have a lot of seam work to work on. I'll have to putty and sand it down, and that's going to be fun. But I could probably get started working on that, glue that in place, and then go ahead and get started with the sanding. And then the bottom part here, I can't really get to that and sand that and clean up that seam line until I think the whole sub's together. That might not be a good call to do that right now, but I can at least drill that out. The conning tower's done. I did some light sanding to it. If I got the time today, I'm going to go ahead and, like I said, I'm going to draw that out. Maybe I'll hook it all up and let everybody get a look at it, see what she looks like lit up on top of the sub. So I'll go ahead and pause, get started on the Seaview here and work on that part there, and I'll talk with everybody later. Alright everybody, I got the power set at almost 9 volts for the conning tower. You can see the light on top here at the end of the conning tower, and you can see right below it that little bit of a light leak. And I should have double checked it before I glued it together, but I think, like I said in a previous video, if I either primer it, then go over it with flat black, primer it again over that, it should take care of that light leak. Don't look bad in person. I know the camera is going to really pick it up, but I'm sure I can fix that. That should not be a big problem. I did hit it with some tulip on the inside. I could double check it again before I glue it onto this part right here of the sub, which will be later down the road. But here's the red navigation light. You can see here, looks pretty cool. And then I'll try to swing over to the other side, and then you can see the green. It looks pretty cool. Straight on. I know, let me turn the overhead light off. There, that's a little bit better. And a straight on shot looks pretty good. And I thought about lighting the inside where they come up out of the hatch there, but I don't know. I'll have to think about that. But it looks pretty cool. So I'm finishing up on the diving planes. I think I did about as much as I could. Maybe I'll hit them with some primer just to see how they turn out. And then this one mounts up here. I'll just hold it in place, and then you get an idea of what it's going to look like. At least the conning tower, the navigation lights and that light in the rear of the conning tower will light up. The tail fins will light up, and then the searchlights in the front will light up, and then of course the control room. So I figured I'd give everybody a quick update on the sub here. I'll continue working on the conning tower, and I may prep these up this weekend. This is Friday afternoon, April 5th, and it's almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't think there's much more I can do to these. They look pretty clean. We'll just see how they go with some primer. So I'll go ahead and continue working on this. I figured I'd give everybody another update with the conning tower. It's looking pretty cool, and I'll talk with everybody later. Alright everybody, my battery died in the camcorder and I got it charging right now. I'm going to go ahead and light up the flying sub bay, and with the Voodoo board that I bought years ago, it comes with the whole light kit for the Seaview, and I think you mount like a, I don't know if it's a 3 or 5 millimeter red LED about center. I'm going to go with some LED strip taped. I'll show you here in a little while my idea what I'm going to do, but I'll go ahead and light that up too. I mean, why not? I'm lighting everything else on the Seaview, and I think that'll look cool. They have the bay lit up, and I want the light coming from this front of the sub to the rear, then have lighting on both ends. So I'm going to stop mumbling here. I'm going to set up the workbench, get this prepped up, the flying sub bay, and I'll try to explain what I'm going to do. So I'll go ahead and pause, get this set up, and I'll talk with everybody later. Alright everybody, back on the flying sub bay. I've had these LED strip tape for a long time. Picked them up from Cult TV Man's website, but you can also go to Paragraphics. They sell it on their site. I have one set of red right here. I also have 2 cool white, and which you don't see that often. I got 2 purple, and then I also have blue. But I already have, we can open this, I already have, with the magnetic wire, I already have a small strip of red set up. I probably was going to use this on something that I built down the road, or I built a long time ago and I never use it. Not crazy about the magnetic wire, but I'm going to go ahead and add some wire wrapping wire to it. My idea is you can go either side, but I'm gonna put it in the back side here, and I'm gonna have to show everybody my idea. I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of measure and do some figuring here and what I kind of center it. I'm going to kind of center it and then put it in place, and then I'll have 3 lights coming out from the rear here on the back side here. You'll see when I get it all set up. I think it'll look pretty cool. So it's not going to take me long, other than drilling 3 little holes out the back side here. You got writing here. Trying to see, it says voyage to the bottom of the sea, Seaview on this side here. The other side here shows Mobius. I could probably just sand that down, but it's not really interfering putting it into the sub. But I think it's going to make it look good. Why not light it up? I'll use this stuff down the road on other kits. Plus I have up here plenty in stock. I've got so much LED light strip tape here, whatever you want to call it, plus other LEDs, blinking LEDs and everything I got from HDA Model Works. I got all this from HDA Model Works. It's white, cool white, blue. I think I do have red in here, and double density, and I can go on and on about the lighting stuff that I have from my model kits. Like I said, I could probably light up 20 or more starships with the lighting that I have in stock. But to get back to the flying sub bay, I'm going to go ahead and get this set up. Once it's done, I'll show everybody how it looks. So I'll go ahead and pause, stop rattling off here, and I'll talk with everybody later. Alright everybody, another update. I got it installed. You can see the they're SMDs, but you can see the strip that I got, and it's flush. You see the back side, how I have it. I use my glue gun, and how I glued it in place. Go ahead and turn some power on. I gotta think it's set at 9 volts, a little over 9. Turn the overhead light off, and there you go. Looks pretty cool. Then when you flip it over, you can see, even with my holding it with my hand, you can see the red, and that looks pretty cool. So I'm going to go ahead and install this in the sub, and I'll get a look at what she looks like when she's all together. And just imagine that the sub's all done. Even on camera, it's really throwing the red light across. Not completely across, but we'll see once it's in the sub. I think that strip looks pretty cool. I mean, I could have went with more, but since they work in a set of 3s, this is the shortest you can cut strip of LED tape. I think it's going to look pretty good. So let me go ahead and pause the camera, get this into the sub, and we'll take a look at it and see what she looks like. So I'll I'm rambling on again. Let me go ahead and pause and hook this up into the sub, and we'll see what it looks like. I'll be right back. Alright everybody, back on the flying sub bay. I got it power at 9 volts. Now let me bump it up here to 12. I carefully set it up on my stand here. I got the bay in place, and the camera's picking up that the red. That looks really cool. I know the angle here is not going to do justice, but there you go. It's lighting up most of the bay, which is cool. You can see here. And let me see if I can pick it up without doing much to knocking the power off. There you can see the strip right there, and red's picking up real good with this camera, and it's getting 90% of the bay, I would say. Maybe if I bumped it up to 12. A little tricky here. Let me go ahead and bump it up to 12, because I might run this either on 9 or 12 volts, depending on, you know, I can use either. And that's at 12. You can see the bay looks like it's mostly lit up now. That looks really cool, and that's a good shot of it right there. I'm happy with it. It's lighting up, like I said, 90%, maybe a little bit more. That looks awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and call this a wrap for update number 9. I still got a lot of work to do on the sub yet. Slowly getting there. The front look of it, that looks pretty cool. So I'd like to thank my YouTube subscribers. I'd like to thank everybody for watching. Sub to my channel. More on the Seaview to come. I'll post this sometime this week, and I'll talk with everybody later.